man. Where my there's my clap. There we go. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes when I do my podcast, it still feel like the first time I'm getting started. My very first podcast. I don't know why I still feel like that, but it does. You muted, my lady.
My bad. I was trying to say, yeah, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Keep yourself on your toes.
Keep me on my toes, right?
Right, right, right,
You
right,
ain't
right,
lying.
right, right.
We got, oh guys, you already know who we got in the building. Let me get my hold on. There we go. We got Miss Jane, aka Men Are Not the Enemy, in the house, in the building, as usual. You know what I'm saying? She already getting
Let's
love.
go.
We are tonight are gonna try to discuss an array of different things. And of course in accordance to the overall theme, at what costs will you sacrifice your principles? I think that's, on the surface is it's kind of a silly question, but if you think deep about it, we see a lot of that going on in our society today. What does it profit a man to gain the world but to lose his soul? um we see a lot of that happening today, and I think tonight's clips, in conjunction with our conversation, is going to definitely be enlightening for you folks, and I hope you all could learn something from it or teach us something. Please be as engaging as possible in the chat. Oh gosh, we got our next guest here. Oh, let me pull her up. What's happening with you? Let me give you a round of applause. Oops, not that.
Amen.
Hi,
What's happening? What's happening? What's happening?
what's going on? Hi,
All
good
right.
night.
Thank you so much for agreeing to come on. I appreciate you. What
Thank you
exactly
for
would you
having
like?
me.
Yeah,
I'm
no problem.
sorry.
No, you good. You good. What exactly okay. It's the Madam Divine. Would you like
Mm-hmm.
me? Okay. All right, Miss Madam Divine. This is
Mm-hmm.
my good friend here, Jane,
Hey,
aka
How you
Jane.
Men Are
doing?
Not the Enemy.
Nice to meet
And as I
you.
was just saying in the opening, we're going to try to discuss an array of different things, all in accordance to the overall theme tonight, which is at what cost will you sacrifice your principles?
Mm,
Yeah, and I'm sure everybody has their own perspective, and like I said, it all makes a fruitful dialogue for all of us to kind of exchange ideas and learn something from one another, because I don't
mm-hmm.
profess to know it all. I do not. So I'm always receptive to new information, as long as it makes sense, obviously. All right, cool. So Miss Madame Divine, if you don't mind, just giving us a little brief introduction, because you're new to the channel.
Oh yeah. So I mean, my name is the Madam Divine. That's actually my pen hand. I write poetry, so that's where that name came from.
Nice.
But I've been on one other panel before to talk about relationships and just the culture of our people. And I'm just here to have open, constructive conversations that will benefit us as a whole. So that's kind of why my presence is here on the internet today.
Okay. Dope. Well, we definitely appreciate you for coming on, because here at the Real Unwoke, it's not really the faint of heart. So yes, we try to maintain a degree of banter. However, what I'm saying, we all kind of pretty much have our own strong opinions about things. So I hope you are just as what's the word, convicted in your beliefs as we are.
Yeah.
But again, it's all about just learning for one another, and new information. You know what I'm saying? So, nonetheless, guys, I got these. The actually, we're gonna piggyback off the last montage that I made, but we didn't. Jane and I, we get so deep into it that sometimes we just get to going. We can't get to all the
Mhm.
clips, so we're gonna see if we can go through the rest of these, y'all, and get it going. I'll pull
Really
this up real quick.
carefully.
Oops, nope. Oh, you know what? How rude am I, guys? I didn't even give you guys no love in the chat. What's up? Who we got in the house? We got Miss Marlene in the house. I appreciate you, Miss Marlene. We got your boy Lee. What's happening, Lee? Appreciate you, man. Gregory. Okay. All right. What's up, Gregory? Appreciate you, brother. Got someone new. Guys, if you are just getting in, hit the like button. Oh, excuse me. Hit the like button and share it out. Share out the video. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way the algorithm works. If you hit that like button and engagement, of course. All right, so let's fast forward all this because we did that one. We did her too, didn't we, Miss Jane?
We did, yeah.
Yeah, we beat her ass a lot. Deep.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm coming for that too. I'm coming for that.
Man, I can't wait. I can't wait. All right, hold on. Let me start right here. Oops. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna press play, guys. Let me know if y'all can hear it. And y'all too in the chat. If you can hear it, put a 1 in the chat. If not, just put a 2.
I hope somebody.
Can y'all hear that?
Yeah.
Y'all can hear that? Okay, cool. Guys, in chat, can you hear it? Put a 1 in the chat. I know it's just a quick little snippet, but okay. Well, I'm assuming since y'all can hear it, everybody else can hear it. Here we go.
Want to inquire about why I feel like Jesus is my homeboy and see what he done for me and how down he is for me and what he could do for other people. He down for me, me and my husband, me and my son, this house, this car, and he uses me to work at the welfare.
You can't make this shit up. Can't make it up. You cannot make it up. And this is what's sad. This is what's really going on. And
What?
I start off by I'll let you speak, man. Don't cut me off. Do not cut me off. Don't cut me off. I'll end this shit. You know that. I'll let you speak. Let me talk.
Okay.
The fact that you are so proudly looking so ignorant is a problem.
Tell me what's ignorant.
I will.
Thank
The fact that you're continually sitting here talking about Jesus is my homie and my homeboy, what he's done for this and that and this, and then I'm ride or die Crenshaw. This is the image you want of yourself, and you think it's appropriate for it to be an image to be broadcast for Black women. It's sad that you don't know any different. It's sad that you don't know. No. When it's your turn, I'll give you. It's
Okay.
sad also that when I asked you about marriage, for this Jesus and religion and everything you're so ride or die for, you can't seem to tell me where in the Bible it said anything about blissful happiness.
All right, let me pull that down. Okay, initial thoughts. I will let you, Miss Jane, kick it off, and then Miss Madam Divine, you can follow up, and I'll go last. What's your initial thoughts to that?
So okay, so I actually don't get that. I prefer for the madam to go first. I'm not understanding.
Okay, no
I,
problem, no problem.
Okay, so well, hold on. Let me at least, maybe I should ask a few questions. So
Mhm.
I see, okay, I see how she presented herself online. I see the bonnet, all that type of stuff. I see she's talking about her guy. I don't know if it's her husband, but her boyfriend. She's talking about Jesus, all that. Um, what exactly? I'm not understanding what exactly is Kevin Samuels trying to say. Like, I feel like I need a little bit more just of what's going on. And unless, madam, maybe you want to go first.
I actually agree with you. I want to know what he's trying to say about her in regards to her bringing up, Jesus or God into the
So,
equation.
so what I gather from that is this really more so just an image thing. You know what I'm saying? How she's projecting herself out to the world, and is if that's emblematic to what we see, basically corroding in our community, this mindset, this corroded mindset. And I use that strong language on purpose because it seems like she has no concept. It's like she's merging in her mind. She's trying to merge something that a lot of people would perceive as, the Bible, God, as holy, with this sort of degenerate mindset, this ghetto mentality.
What was the degenerate mindset? What did she say that was degenerate?
Well, referring to Jesus as her homeboy, okay, I'm a Christian, but things like that don't offend me. But just to not even be aware of or having that overall lack of respect of how she even sounds, how she's articulating herself, I think that to itself speaks to like this abyss-minded level way of thinking. Like if you're going to speak about Jesus, where and why would you even? I wouldn't even refer to Muhammad as my homeboy if I was talking to someone else about the Islamic religion. Like if I was talking about something in a third party perspective, I think it's a lack of respect to refer to him as a homeboy if there's a group of people who looks to this religion as, as a form of penance, principles, values. So that's one perception I got from her. I mean, y'all may disagree.
I didn't get that perception from her. I think that maybe her use of the word homeboy could be interpreted as being a form of disrespect. I know some people have a different level of relationship or relation with God. So her intent of using the word homeboy, I don't think it was malicious, and I don't think it was supposed to be interpreted as her being disrespectful. But I definitely see how, when you are speaking the name of the Lord, you want to be as respectful as possible. But I think in totality of what she was saying, I don't think she said anything too outrageous about God. But if we're going to, sit down and maybe like judge her based off of her appearance or how she said something, we could say that. But I think that the intention behind what she was saying is that she has God on the forefront of her life. And that should be encouraged, I think, to some form of an extent. But she could have articulated herself better. Everybody has room for improvement in that way. I could say yes to that. I just don't think that her intent was malicious at all.
Yeah, I don't think it was. Oh, Jane, did you want to follow up? Go ahead.
So, okay, I 100% agree with Madam. However, I do understand the gist of where you're trying to go with this conversation, Neil. So yes, 100% understand. I even say that. I say Jesus is my homeboy. I say God is my homeboy. I say that like with no guilt in my heart at all. Like God is my homeboy. God is my father. He's my counselor. He's my mom. He's everything. He's my rock. He's everything. So Jesus is Yahweh is my homeboy. But I understand what you're trying to say. I believe the reason for bringing it on, if I'm not mistaken, for first covering this topic, is the whole bonnet thing and how brown women present themselves. Period. So let's just take it a little step further and let's just ignore like this thing at a surface level and take it more so to the root, which I understand. I think if I'm not mistaken, I understand where Neil's trying to go. Yeah, as far as presentation, I literally just talked about this today. Like, oh my God, like I know it's not as black and white as what this video was talking about today. However, brown women in general, but specifically brown women, they for an example, there was a video of a brown woman. She was a teacher. She got fired for this rap video that she was coming out with her students. And in the video, she's throwing up the bird and she's using foul language. And the people in the comments was like, oh my gosh, I don't know why she got fired. What she does offline is none of the school's business and blah blah blah. Well, yes, it is. It is our business. Like so to summarize it, yeah. Are women presenting themselves so out of control like this woman was? Absolutely not. But I'm understanding where you're trying to go. And yes, brown women do need to be, they need to do 100% better with representing themselves, not just to impress somebody, but just for the kids that are looking up to us. And yeah, so I'm gonna be quiet.
Did you want to follow up with that, Madame, or?
I agree with you. I think that women, especially specifically women of color, definitely have work to do when it comes to how we present ourselves in social settings, especially when we do things like this, when we put ourselves on the internet. It's really important that you're mindful of how you put yourself up there. People can make assumptions about you. People can have opinions about your personality or your character, and it doesn't necessarily mean that it's the truth, but you definitely can help yourself by appropriately presenting yourself when you're speaking on a public forum. So I definitely think that as a collective group of women, brown-skinned women, we could empower each other to show up better so that we can protect ourselves from these types of views. Because again, I don't think her intent was malicious, but I think that she could have helped herself portray her message better by appropriately presenting herself on that platform.
Yeah, I totally agree. And again, let me ask y'all this. Do you think that the outwardly or the world's perception of you should matter? How people
to an extent, maybe. You said, does the world's perception of you matter?
Yeah, basically how you present yourself, or how other people may perceive you, should that matter?
I think it should to an extent. Um, Ultimately, you are who you are, and you have an important role to play when it comes to being the authentic person you are. And I personally say to fulfill your role that God has for you. So, you know, you might be persecuted in a lot of different ways, and people may not agree with you. But if that's not conducive to what you're here to do, then sometimes you do have to be authentic to yourself. But in order to be appropriately received by people, and to be accepted by people, and to really initiate change, if that is your goal, you do have to have some type of conformity happening, in order for you to be accepted by other people. So, you being well kept, or the way you speak to people, or the way you behave, right, the way you carry yourself. You don't want to just be all out, wild and crazy. It's a great way to get noticed, but it might not be a great way to be remembered. So it's like, it's kind of like it's kind of like a balance. We could give it an ultimatum, but I don't think that fits.
Okay, I understand. Did you want to say something, Jane?
Yeah, I just wanted to add to that. Yeah, does it matter how we present ourselves? Absolutely. Can we present ourselves however we want to? Absolutely. But what we need to realize, especially as brown women, um, we need to realize we need to be ready for the clapback. We need to be ready for the clapback of how we present ourselves. So if you are coming on with not just hair bonnets, because I've definitely seen worse than hair bonnets, but of course your breasts out, your butt cheeks hanging out, and then you going up to the school to pick up your kids from school, and then you have a prerogative to wear whatever you want to wear and do whatever you want to do, but you got to get ready for somebody that sees you or that takes out their camera and records you, and you got to be ready for that, because I mean, it's, although you can do whatever you want to do, there's still a certain type of image that you should have within yourself, especially, and I'm gonna land my plane there, is here, especially when these women are calling themselves social media influencers, and then
Yes.
they deliberately get online with their cleavage showing, they breasts all perked up, like they know exactly what they're doing, and then you call yourself like trying to lead men, you call yourself trying to empower men, but you got your breasts all out, you got your lips is glistening, you got this, come on now. So women, black women, brown women, they know what they be doing. We know the Jezebel spirit when we see one.
Interesting.
I agree.
I don't know. I take and I'm just thinking about what y'all saying. I just, oh, what the heck was that? Was that me? Anyway, I really have to think about this notion of doing whatever you want to do, because when I think about that, even as an adult, I can't necessarily do what I want to do. I think about doing what I should do is that's the first thing that immediately comes to my mind. It's like, yeah, I may want to act or speak in a certain manner or present myself in a certain way because it's quote unquote authentically me, but it's also within the bounds of some form of I don't know, decency, morality, within some sort of parameters of whatever your belief system is, long as it's not hurting no one else, of course. But I don't know. I've always struggled with that notion. You know what I'm saying? This idea of doing whatever you want to do, because for one, I mean, it's kind of akin to Aleister Crowley's mantra, which is "Do what thy wilt," which is, he was like a satanic, whatever he was, like a satanic cult leader or something, and that was their mantra: do what they will, do what you want, do what makes you feel good, do what, forget what everyone else says. And I say, to a certain degree, yes, what people may say shouldn't matter. However, if it's to your benefit, why not take that information in if it could help? Like if they're telling you, hey, you probably shouldn't dress like this, you shouldn't speak like this, or maybe you should conduct yourself with some basic degree of decorum. I don't think I think people have a hard time distinguishing whether or not that's good information, that's useful information, or it's just something it's just the world attacking them. So that's just my say so for that, y'all. We're gonna move on to the next clip. I appreciate y'all insight. I appreciate that. All right, come on.
This
Oh
energy
my
is
gosh,
dope
y'all. Let me
tonight.
tell you about
Oh damn. That was you, Jane? Oh, I'm like, who's that talking? Okay, I'm a bad. You good. You
My
good.
bad.
This is the image you want of yourself, and you.
Oh my gosh, y'all. Let me tell you about this time I went on a date with this guy from Atlanta. Like, what? So, okay, boom. So, this guy had been in my DM for like 3 weeks talking to himself. So, I'm like, one day I was bored. I was hungry. So, I decided to give him some play. So, I hit him up, was like, hey, what you doing? He was like, oh my gosh, God must be shining his light on me today because I've been praying for you to respond to me. And here you are. I would love to take you out on a date. I'm like, boy, save that motherfucking TED talk for somebody else that cares. I'm just trying to eat. So he like, I made this reservation. It's 5-star restaurant in Buckhead. I'm like, cool, because I don't do nothing less than 5 stars anyways. Because I was not going to go if you say anything less than that. So I'm like, okay, boom, I'll meet you there. And he was like, I would love to come pick you up or send you an Uber so you don't have to drive. And I'm like, nah, let me do that on the first date. He like, all right, cool. I respect that. So we get there, y'all. Why he greeted me with this big ass bouquet of roses? Like, boy, who the hell is that? Chivalry is dead. I don't want that. I don't even like you like that for real. I'm just here to eat. And then he's so corny, y'all. Why he opening the door for me talking about, here you go, beautiful. Boy, you ain't doing nothing I can't do for myself. Like, I can open the door. Boy, excuse me. Bye. So we get to the table. He being all nice to the waitress, talking about, you recommend anything for us to try, baby? I already know what I'm getting. I'm getting tomahawk steak, lobster tail, mashed potatoes, asparagus. I got me 2 cocktails, and I got me some oysters, and I got me a dessert too. Then he's trying to make conversation like, boy,
Jesus. I
Oh,
was wondering when she was gonna stop. Shit. All right, so I got a little ticker here. Well, question. So why do we think, or why do we expect? I'm not talking about y'all specifically, but this sort of social pressure almost imposed upon men to work harder for women that are lower quality. Now, we can take this in all different directions, but I just want to get y'all initial thoughts, and then we can kind of mine it out. Jane, you can start it off. Madame, I don't matter. Whatever.
Oh my
Hey,
God.
what's up,
I don't
Andre?
even know. I don't even know where to start with this one. She was talking so fast. Now
Oh my
you talk
God.
about you talk about ghetto. This one here is more ghetto than the first one. But you
What's up?
um yeah,
Yeah,
I
so
don't know.
I need to do my show. And
Oh
I'm
yeah,
so
I
sorry.
don't.
Oh man, I'm
Yeah,
Go, yeah.
yeah, yeah. So
Okay,
anyway,
I'm listening to you,
so
Jane.
girl, it's okay, girl, it's okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, so he asks why do men have to work? What did he say? Why do men have to work hard for
I
basically
guess
lower class women?
yeah, like, I mean, the question is, why do men have to work harder for women that are lower quality wives? So essentially, I guess from this video, he's assuming that
Right.
she would be like a wife.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so essentially I feel like men don't have to. I feel like men are choosing to do that. Nobody made the rules. Nobody is holding a gun to y'all's head. Like men are that's all on y'all, fellas. That's all on y'all. I don't know if she's playing or not, because I mean people are doing so much things for clout these days. I don't know if she's playing, but let's just roll with it if she's
It was
not
a
playing.
lot, right, Jane?
Yeah, it was a lot.
right.
It was a hell of a lot. But if she's for real, right?
Yep.
Men, y'all have to
Check,
y'all
check, check.
don't y'all
Oh,
don't have to work hard. I don't know what Neil got going on. Are
I'm
you
good.
okay,
I'm
bro?
good. Yeah, my mic was
Okay.
tripping. Sorry about that.
It's
Sorry.
okay. But yeah, to answer your question, y'all don't have to. I remember I told you guys, or maybe I haven't spoke on this platform. I think I have, about the $50 rule. Like y'all have to lay down your own rules. Y'all have to meet these women where they are. You can't. You can't. If you don't want to spend $150 or $250 on a daggone steak dinner, then don't do it. Don't take her to the 5-star restaurant. Take her to daggone. Take her to what these women are saying. They don't want to go to Outback Steakhouse. They don't want to go to women like myself and Madam. I already see women like us. We're simple. Women like us. We're actually trying to get to know you. We don't give a damn what the setting is. We can be in your car. We can be in your car playing some music, listening with the windows down, having a cup of tea. Like, yeah, fellas, y'all, to answer your question, I'm gonna stop. Y'all don't have to go all out y'all way. Y'all don't. Go ahead, sis.
No, I agree with you, Jane. When men don't, that was actually my first thought to the question when I read it, was they don't. Men don't have to do it, and I encourage you not to do it. I think that respectfully, there are a lot of women who are not ready to be a wife. And there's a certain point in every woman's life, I think, when she's ready to be a wife. Everybody matures into a role like that. If it's not something necessarily that you're just born being, you're not just born being that. You have to be raised a certain way, certain life experiences have to happen, certain mindsets have to be achieved, and viewpoints have to be had in order for you to be ready to be a wife. It doesn't seem like the way that she communicates that she's actually ready to be a wife, or she understands dating or the courting process. I have been courted by my husband, so I know what it's like a man wants to give you roses. He wants to fly to you. He wants to get to know you and settle down with you and start something with you. That man was looking for a wife. And she said something about how, oh, God must have answered my prayers. He's praying for a wife. He's looking for a wife. Okay, that man wanted a serious relationship. She didn't want a serious relationship. I think that people also need to take a responsibility too. What might help men, I can't blame men, but what might help you is being intentional. Do you want a husband? Are you serious about having a husband? And women too, be more intentional with men. I want to be married. I want to be a kept woman. When you're starting to talk to somebody, that's one of the first things you need to do if you seriously want to be married, is let that be a known thing. I want to be married. I want to have a family. And if that's not something you're interested in, then we don't need to have these kind of interactions with each other, because it's a waste of time. And then you have scenarios like this happen when people didn't appropriately communicate. So this woman is, I think too, she definitely likes getting attention. You can tell that she has an inflated sense of personality. The man giving her attention definitely makes her feel good. She wants to, oh, he's giving me roses. Why he doing all that, girl? You know why? Because he likes you. He's interested in you. It doesn't take a genius to figure out when a man wants to get to know you. But if you're not ready to receive that and you just want to go on dates and get food, you got to take that with somewhere else with another person. That's not even kind. You're not giving that man a fair opportunity. And I think that men, if they really want to protect themselves better from women like this, be like I agree with you, be more firm about your rules. Just don't do it. When I met my husband, our first date was a coffee date and we went to a free museum. We didn't go on no crazy date. And I knew from that date that I love my husband because we connected from our personality. It was nothing to do with how much money he spent or what he wore or what he had to give to me, because my expectation was to get to know him. She doesn't want to be married. She doesn't have the mindset to be married.
So let me ask y'all this then. And I need no in between, no depends, no 50-50. Just yes or no, or not yes or no. Just which
I'll do my best.
All right, A or B. Would you say that's the majority of marriageable minded women out there, or is the minority?
I definitely think it's a minority.
Yeah, I think
Oh my gosh. She said it, y'all. I didn't say it.
And then to add to it, like, okay, so what type of example? See, this is the thing. You I don't know how large of a following this lady has, but that's the thing, right? That's the thing right there. Like, however large of a following this woman has of female followers, like, you're basically teaching them that nothing is good enough. Okay, he shows up with roses. All these relationship statuses that women say, oh, I want a man to treat me like LeBron James treats Savannah. I want a man to treat me like Russell treats Sierra. But then when the man shows up with roses, you complaining about the daggone roses. Then he took you to a damn five. Right. He took you to a damn 5-star. Right, madam. Took you to a 5-star restaurant and you complaining. So what you're basically projecting on black women to black men is that nothing a black man does is, or a man in general is good enough. So now, right. So now you're not even creating. Now you're adding more fuel to the flame of the gap. You're separating. The gap keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. It seems like very few women are trying to close the gap. We just we just keep trying to separate the damn gap.
Right. I agree with you. I agree. I say it's a minority. I 100% agree with you. I don't think that a lot of women have the mindset, and it's unfortunate because these are the things that go viral, and it really paints a bad picture and image of good Black women who want to be married, who value family, who want to love. cherish and uplift their husbands and be their biggest cheerleader and have their children and love their children and take good care of themselves and their family. Like, there are Black women who really want that. And I want Black men to know that. It's unfortunate that these women are the ones that get put up on the poster board when that's not all of us, but we are, again, a minority. So although unfortunately is a smaller percent of the population, we still exist though. We're here, we're here.
So that's the conundrum that I face.
Hey, girl.
That's the conundrum. That is the conundrum that I have here, is that although, of course, just for all intents and purposes, this she was probably, it was a skit. The clip was might have been a skit, and then, you know what I'm saying, she's highlighting a more extreme example of that type of mindset. But if by y'all own admission that there is only a minority of marriageable minded women, then it begs the question again, is why should men have to work harder for these lower quality wives when there's not much to pick from? And the additional follow-up is, what is the alternative? If there's not many women to choose from, what is a viable alternative then?
We have to do better. We have to have real conversations, constructive conversations with women, with each other. If we're going to focus specifically on women, because two parties are involved in a man and a woman's relationship, if we're going to specifically focus on women, as Black women, we could help each other and have conversations with each other. We have to take the feelings out of it. Women are very emotional. So a lot of the time we end up getting into emotional conversations. What would help is being objective. We've identified problems. I think that our people do a really great job of identifying the problems and talking about the problems and judging the problem, but we do a really poor job of assessing it and making a plan of action to get better outcomes when it comes to the success rate of our marriages and our relationships. So we really need to hold each other accountable. We need to have more constructive conversations and take accountability personally too. When you show up and do, other people will do too. If you see, monkey do, right? So if you see one other, you might do another. Talk is cheap when you don't do. So we have to hold ourselves accountable and other people accountable.
JP just brought up a good point. I'm gonna let you follow up too, Miss Jane. I'm sorry. I just want to. So he brought up a good point right here. Now, you guys are aware of the sisterhood uberalysis. Y'all understand that the sisterhood is a tight-knit group, and they only they will castigate you for thinking or having a more of a traditional mindset. You will be castigated. They have a ton of labels for those women that they deem not part of the sisterhood. JP says women aren't going to listen to each other. They don't even like each other. Now, I got y'all on here to validate whether or not there's some credence to what he's saying, but I've observed it. I've observed women, they'll compliment each other, and then as soon as she walk away, they talking crap, or they'll spread gossip and try to destroy each other's reputation, whatever the case may be. So just back to my point is, like, how are you expect women to take this information in to do better when they won't listen to us? And in a lot of cases, they won't even listen to y'all. Won't even listen to each other.
I mean, I'm not sure if you're married, but I don't know how many women who are traditionally have a traditional mindset are actually married, or if they're available. But something that might help too is like men paying more attention to women who are available, who have this mindset, instead of paying attention to people who are for the streets. But if we're gonna go, Madam Divine. But I know, but hold on, I'm getting there. I'm getting there, because I'm like, that would definitely help. Go ahead. But I also think that women have to do better. So to answer the question, yeah, a lot of times women don't like each other. We get jealous of each other. I don't think this is isolated to women of color. This is how women are: white, yellow, purple, green, pink. Okay, we're all like this. And it takes a level of humbling yourself and sitting yourself down and recognizing that your character, you have to work on your character, and you have to be able to be receive constructive. If it's constructive, this is my thing. Criticism is one thing, but as long as it's constructive, because you can tell me you don't like me, but if it's not based in any truth or validity, I don't want to hear it. And that's just me, because so if you say, hey sis, coming from a place and knowing how to communicate too, having nurturing communication, women are naturally nurturing. So if you nurture communication, you don't just come at somebody like, hey sis, like, let's talk. Like, why do you think that you're having a really hard time dating? Like, why do you treat men like that? Like, really ask, like, show up. And they may not like you, but you know what? A seed was planted. You may not be the first and end stop to change that woman's mindset. But if you're authentic and you're true, when you do have an opportunity to speak up on it with another woman or another sister, say something And that will start to become the norm. But if we don't start having these normal conversations with each other and recognize that it's not malicious, that we're not trying to tear you down, but build you up, because you have to have difficult conversations. People oftentimes think that when they're getting constructive criticism or someone's saying something that could be deemed negative, that they're being put down. But really, sometimes someone's trying to lift you up. But you also have to master the art of communication. If you say something to someone in an overt, disrespectful way, it's very easy to close your ear and close your eyes and just pretend like you can't hear or see anything because you feel personally attacked. Black women and women, so women in general, we are told what to do, how to be, what to look like, how to feel, how to live our life. And especially Black women, we are under a lot of scrutiny. So getting more scrutiny from people who look like you can be really, really hard. So we have to be more loving. Our approach has to be better when coming to each other and trying to get each other to be more accountable. It's going to take a really long time. This is also not something that just kind of happened out of nowhere. This has a lot to do with our history as people of color. You know, there's a lot of things that go behind why we behave the way we behave in our culture. And a lot of it has to do with the Atlantic slave trade, us not knowing our history. This isn't our culture. We're from the motherland. This kind of stuff that we have right going on in our society as African-American people is not really true to our culture and where we come from. We have to accept what is and where we want to be, and we need to come together. So that really would help.
Go ahead, Miss Jane.
I just want to add to it that, I mean, I say this all the time, like men y'all just gotta start picking better. Like just pick different, like just pick different. Like I literally have the opportunity to raise my son, right? So all the morals and values that I have in me, I'm going to teach that to my son of what to look for. I'm going to teach my son how to, how a woman should present herself and such and such and such. Just as well as I have the opportunity to, instill in my son what a certain type of woman looks like, how she carries herself. Grown men have that ability too. You guys can shape and mold what y'all want. It's y'all's decision, for crying out loud. Now you mentioned the scarcity. I want to also say, I don't really know that it's okay. So it's minority based on what we see. It's minority based on social media, based on celebrity gossip, based on news, and I mean, surface. It seems like minority, but I question myself all the time. Is it
There's
really
more.
the minority though? Yeah, is it really the minority? Because women are saying that men are dogs. So, and I question them. Well, ma'am, how do you conclude that all men are dogs when you haven't met all men? You haven't met all men to conclude that. So, is it really? Because y'all, bro, I have a handful of women on my platform alone that are single. They don't have no little baby kids, and they either don't have kids, or if they have kids, their kids are grown, like 30s, 20s. They're single and they're looking for husbands. I'm still single. So it's not that the women are not out here, fellas. Please believe that. It's not that we're not out here. It's just that you guys are not choosing us, which means that if you're not choosing us, y'all either can't find us, y'all either don't know where to go to find us, or y'all see us and y'all just not picking us because we don't have this, oh, hi, hello. We don't have this. We're not trying to get nothing out of you. Y'all, a lot of times, and I just got to call the bluff, a lot of times men go after the women that's trying to get something out of them because of the chase. But when you see a woman is content with herself and she's actually trying to learn you, and maybe she comes a little different, maybe she dresses a little different to come at you a little different, we want to say, oh, she's to this and she's to that. So make it make sense. Like we fellas, y'all also got to realize y'all don't have to pick these women. Like y'all don't.
Okay. Damn, I know I got a little bit more time left with you, Miss James. So I'm gonna go to the
Keep
next
going,
clip.
bro. Don't worry about me. Keep going.
I definitely wanted to say, well, I wanted to ask if y'all believed in the Pareto principle, which is the 80-20 rule, whereas the majority of something goes for the minority. Well, it's basically the Nader fallacy, where the entire group is based upon the worst members of the group. So that's the essentially the Pareto principle. So, and I say all that to say, I don't know if y'all are aware, but men are saying now in these spaces and, you know, other places that the majority of women are going for only a small percentage of men. And a lot of the times the small percentage of men are the degenerates, thugs, the criminals, the dudes that they mimic masculinity, but they don't really have the prowess or the competency of leadership, but they mimic those traits, and women find it attractive. Um, do y'all think that is a thing like that? Do you know any? I mean, just thinking about your friend group or just things you might have observed. Do you think that is a thing that women are attracted to what's not necessarily beneficial for them in the long run?
I think from what I see, a lot of women have a really hard time picking the right partner for themselves out of like not understanding men. I think in general, you have to really kind of understand how men think first before you get seriously involved with a man, because men are more analytical and less emotional than women. And so a lot of times men, they kind of play on our feelings, and that's how they get women, is through their feelings. And if you don't really understand what you want, it's really easy to get wrapped up into something that's not good for you. A lot of women, I think, do want to get married and do want to have serious relationships with men, but because they don't know how to appropriately find the right person, or they don't know how to communicate, or no one ever really sat them down and talked to them about the importance of like appropriately dating someone, they're going to fall into these crazy relationships and get into toxic trauma bond type situations and scenarios and start having people's kids and stuff. And it gets real complicated real fast, because I think that women really do have a hard time finding a good partner. And it really boils down to I think what's being reflected from your household and in your family tree, not just where your mommy and your daddy, like, are your auntie and uncle still married? Were your grandparents married? Do you have people in your family and in your community who are still married and they're 70 and they've been married for 30, 40 years? If you've never seen that, it's going to be really hard for you to understand what quality traits and attributes to look for in a partner. And it's also going to really be hard to value that because you don't have examples in front of you in your life.
Madam Devon, let me ask you real quick. Do you think men and women are equal?
No.
Okay. Well, why do you use the term partner?
Because I think that when you're in a relationship with someone, you're a team. And each team member has a certain role. So I say you're my partner, like you're my team member. But I think that the level of what the role that you have it's different. But I definitely see my husband as my partner because we do life together.
Do you see your husband as your head?
Absolutely do.
Okay.
And he's a great head too. He's a great head of the household.
Okay.
He's phenomenal.
Are you a Christian?
Yes.
Okay. Well, is he the head of the household or is he the head of you?
He's the head of the household, and he also is the head of me. The actual reason that I do these panels is because my husband introduced them to me. I never even knew these kind of things existed until my husband told me to talk about them. And I respect my husband's opinion. I was my own individual outside of meeting my husband, but now that my husband takes care of me and has that kind of dominion over my life, yeah, he does definitely guide me. And I really, I appreciate it as a woman. I do. And I'm not ashamed of it either.
I just often hear a lot of women say that my husband is he's the head of the household, which, subconsciously, I'm not saying you, but subconsciously, it's almost like, well, especially Christians, biblically, you're the husband is supposed to be the head of the woman, not the head of the house. The woman is supposed to direct the house. The man is just the head of the husband.
I think the women, okay, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay. I think the woman helps steward over what the man brings to the table. So she helps ensure that what the earnings that are coming into the household are that she's a steward of those things. But I don't think that the woman controls the household because my husband directs the direction in which, like, he directs where we're going. I just am the backup, like, hey, because my husband values my opinion. So if I say something to him and I'm like, hey, like, maybe we could try to use this resource this way, he'll respect my opinion. So I kind of make, I'm like the second reinforcement to the success of our family. But at the end of the day, my husband has the final say about what goes on in the household, which is why he's the head and the lead. And I think that's incredibly important for a woman to have.
I agree. Miss Jane, do you want to chime in real quick? Well, not real quick. Just
You
say your piece.
right. Well, you were speaking on. First of all, I agree 100% with what Madam said. But I was gonna say, yes. Back to your question about like, are women choosing the quote unquote bad boys? Um, I mean, these days, bad boys they don't look like. I mean, we still got bad boys, right? But men are, excuse me, what they look like on the outside is kind of upgrading. It's not so much, oh, just because he got gold teeth he's a bad boy, or just because he drive, this or that, he's a bad boy. There's men getting their money up. But I would say yes, like looking around. But women like myself and Madam, we're a different breed though. So we're these type of guys. We're not interested in these types of no in those types of guys. But the women that's out here, as we were speaking on the minority women, yeah, they're looking for the I forgot what rapper names exist anymore. Whatever these rappers' names are out here, yeah, they're looking for that type of guy because they want, they want to be able to say, my man takes care of me, my man does this and that, my man got this amount of money and blah blah blah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right. No,
Seriously.
I feel you. I feel you. I feel you. I feel you. All right, y'all. We're gonna move on to this last clip here. Get y'all thoughts. For y'all in the chat, I appreciate you guys for being here. Make sure you smash that like button. You know what I'm saying, and definitely show these ladies some love. I don't know, Madame Divine. I don't know if you have any socials, anything you want to plug at the end of the show, or you could do it right now if necessary. Miss Jane.
Anything I have is the Madam Divine. I'm not too crazy. I just want to have good, constructive conversations.
All right, understood. And Miss Jane, you can go ahead and do a quick plug, and then we can do another one before the show's out.
Yeah, you guys can follow me on all platforms at Men Are Not the Enemy. Every handle is Men Are Not the Enemy except TikTok. TikTok is at She Is Jane. And Divine, I'm definitely gonna find you because I need to follow you. I'm gonna find you.
Yeah, and I want to follow you too. I like your mindset. I respect it too.
Oh, the sisterhood.
But this is good. This is a good sisterhood.
Yeah, this is good. Question real quick though. Do you have a sister?
Me?
Yeah.
I have two sisters. I do.
You look like. Do you have a sister named Carmel?
No.
Oh, I was about to say. Okay, go ahead, Neil. Sorry.
There she go. All right. Okay. Let's do this last clip, y'all. Hey, like I said, hit the like button, y'all. I appreciate y'all. All right.
I think a lot of people are.
Oh, well, we did that one. Let me just fast forward that real quick. Milton Freeman is my guy. Oops. Okay. Here we go. Y'all know we got to go ratchet. Sorry. Here we go.
You constantly saying cheating. But why was I cheating? Why wasn't I with you?
It don't even matter
Why?
no more. Why
Why?
would
Because you
have a kid
wasn't
with
there.
my
You act
homeboy?
like you do not want a family.
I
You act like you don't want to get married.
I
All
don't.
you want to do is shower me with
Okay,
money,
you
cars,
saying
and stuff
all
like
these
that.
cons,
I
so
want
go
kids.
leave
I want
me,
a
leave.
family.
Okay,
I
you
want
about to have
love,
a kid,
and we're
you about
gonna
to have a
have that.
family.
And
No,
we're gonna
there's
have
no.
that.
You're the one who's the
Mario
reason.
is
There's
out the
no-
question.
Bruh,
He's out the question.
Mario's child is in your stomach. What are you talking about?
And you're going to take care of
I'm
it.
not taking care of it. That
Why?
makes zero
Why
sense.
can't you take care of it?
That's not my kid. Why am I taking
take care
care
of
that
it?
I did not
Why?
make? That makes
Why?
zero sense.
You can't take care of the child. Why don't you want to take care of the child?
Because he's not mine. He or she is not mine. Bruh,
It's a
go
boy.
in the car.
It's a boy.
That's cool. It's
Junior.
y'all boy.
Junior.
Yeah, Mario Junior.
No, we're gonna call him Dwayne Junior.
Junior. Can you go in the car, please?
Look, I'm not trying to hear that. I'm not trying to hear that. We need to go in the house. You got me arguing outside with these families.
Go in the car then.
You see what I'm saying? You got me doing all this ghetto mess.
Bruh.
Ghetto mess.
You cheated on me with my homeboy.
I
We've been
cheated
cool
on you
since
with the
7th grade.
homeboy
We done all went to homecoming
Okay,
together, prom,
that's
all of that. And that's
fine.
who you decide to have a kid with. Not even
Yes,
a
we've been cool
stranger though,
since
my
then.
homeboy.
Because what have you?
All right, so it's just more back and forth. Anyway, so obviously, aside from the egregious wrong of cheating, which she did, I wanted to talk about something a little bit more deeper, which is this notion that I don't know if you guys ever heard women say that it takes a real man to raise someone else's child, or it takes a real man to step up. What I hear typically whenever they throw that phrase around, takes a real man. Usually, what follows that is some BS, and it's like a man has to lower himself to meet that standard. And I'm not talking about specifically single moms, because my question is is a man taking on a single mother an asset or a liability? And I say that, everyone has kids. Well, for those of you who have kids, we understand our kids are precious to us, but to someone else, it's a different story. Are these women today, single moms, excuse me, do you see it broadly that women who are single moms are presenting themselves in a manner that makes it appealing for a man to want to step up to take on that role? So, they say that it takes a real man to do it. The question is, how are you presenting a steak dinner? Like, is it on a trash can lid, or is this a 5-star hotel? So
Most
that's what I'm saying. Go ahead, Jane.
I think most of them are presenting it on the top of the inside of the trash can lid. Especially the women that be on the Kendra G show. But anyway, all jokes aside, yeah, I feel, to answer your question, I'm just gonna be straight up, which I've never I've never really like said this out loud, but I'm just being honest. I can definitely see why, and I'm a single mom, but I can see why a single mom, or dating a single mom, or marrying a single mom, could be a liability. I do see why. I do. I do see why. I do. I do get it. But I mean, in that same sense, then you got two different types of single moms. You got the one is the one that's like that, who's, she done slept around on the man, and then she wants the man to take care of the kid. Or then you have the one that's like got 3 or 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 kids, and they're like, oh yeah, I'm just waiting on my man, And then you have the woman that's out here, you know she's a good mom, whether she had kids or whether she didn't have kids. She just so happened to have kids. And okay, obviously, if you like the woman, you got to take care of the kids come with the package. But to answer the question, yeah, I do, from this woman's from the perspective of this type of woman. Hell yeah, those types of women are a liability. Absolutely, yeah.
All right, Miss Madame, what
I
say you?
agree with you. I think that in this scenario, she's definitely a liability. If we're going to speak in a general sense, I would have to say, because earlier we talked about, are most women, or is it a minority or majority? We're about the minority. So in the majority sense for this question, I definitely think that majority of women probably would be a liability, but that doesn't. Yeah. Because that's the majority of women kind of behave this way. Unfortunately, I don't really know why. Stop.
It's true, madam. It's true. It's true. You're right.
The sisterhood is gonna come after y'all.
I mean, that's okay. You know why? Because I think that, if you can, but it's not really coming from anything like more than an emotional, feeling. So it's like they can say things if they choose to, but we really have to be constructive. Like this behavior is not, no man wants to be forced to take care of children that are not theirs. We have to really be honest with ourselves. If a man is choosing to be in a relationship with you and you already have a child, it's because he genuinely loves you and really wants to do that. It's a lot for a man to take on. And you have to be respectful of that. At the end of the day, if a woman were to be with a man or date a man who had a child, that's something that you have to consider for yourself. He's got a baby mama, blah, blah, blah. It's the same, but it's also different too. Of course, men and women are different. How we perceive things are different. We just have to really be reasonable and realistic. Yeah, it's a liability. I mean, going into a relationship with somebody who has a kid definitely is a liability. Is it a personal thing to say that? I don't think it is personal, because again, not everybody is trying to maliciously speak upon the topic. I just definitely think that because majority of women unfortunately don't understand men and don't understand, I think there's a respect issue too, because I think there's a sense of entitlement there for I don't want to talk about this woman specifically. There's this huge overwhelming sense of entitlement to his life, taking care of a child is like that you just owe your whole life. That's not that people. I don't think people really like. It's a human being. Like it's not like you're going to McDonald's and getting a number two. Like you are literally taking care of someone, and like that little baby, that person is gonna know you as daddy or the stepdaddy or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. So it's not as simple as just going to McDonald's and ordering a number two. Like that's a life-changing event. That's like a man putting in energy to help raising your kids is a huge deal, and your sense of entitlement to that is just outrageous. I don't know if that was a skit. I don't know if that was whatever, but if it was, Grammy, honey, because that was crazy. Like, I definitely don't understand what in her brain made her think that she was entitled to him taking care of that child. It's not his child. That is not his DNA. Biologically speaking, he may not feel that same connection. I'm not saying that a man can't love a child that's not his, but you can't force a man to do that. That's not fair. And that's not kind to think that you have control over someone's life like that, or they owe you that with their life. They don't owe you that.
Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned the whole entitlement mindset too, which I think just again correlates to the central theme of tonight's discussion. It's just what is this level of entitlement that these women have, and do you think that that they just are they so enshrouded with this belief that they are the prize, they are the queens, they are divine, all these things? Are they so put up on this pedestal to where they almost expect someone to do something from them? It's not any sort of reciprocal exchange, and not even a level of understanding that, okay, this person is doing something kind for me, so let me show a degree of gratitude and appreciation. So that's why I was asking a follow-up question as to if whether or not it's a liability or an asset. Are they presenting it in a manner that is appealing to these men to want to step up and do this?
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
No, it's not. It's not appealing.
They're not.
It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Y'all cold-blooded for that.
They're not doing it.
It's the truth, though. It's not appealing. Yeah. It's not. I mean, honestly, you have to be real. Like, what we always talk about, what does a woman bring to the table, or what does a man bring to the table? If you're going to come into a relationship expecting a man to do every single thing for you, have nothing to offer, you're just entitled to their life, their money, their attention. You got trust issues, you got daddy issues, or whatever you got going on, mommy issues too, because women don't just have daddy issues, they have mommy issues too, which really affect women. If you don't have a good relationship with your mom, that is going to affect you. And I think we don't talk about that enough. But back to the main focus point. I think that women really need to take a good look at themselves and ask, am I ready to be a wife? You may have not been your whole life, and that's okay. You may have made a mistake. You may have a past. You may have things. Okay, cool, bet. I can't crucify you. Some people will try to stone you and crucify you for your past. But if you truly are in a point in your life where you want to be married and you want to have a real relationship with somebody, or you want, a healthy relationship, you have to look at yourself and do introspection. Character development is pivotal. If you don't have the ability to look at yourself and take accountability for yourself, then it's going to be really hard to be in a good committed relationship. If you can't, so she said, oh, you making me act all ghetto. You don't have, my father told me something extraordinary. If you don't have control over your emotions, you will be powerless every single day of your life. If someone can invoke an emotion into you and that controls the way you behave or respond afterwards, you are powerless. There is no reason why she should have sat there and said, oh, you're making me act ghetto because you don't love me. You won't do this. And now I have to be out here in this parking lot acting ghetto. No, you chose to do that. You have to take accountability for your actions and behaviors. It also seemed like she knew you don't want to have a baby. You don't want to have a family. You knew that he didn't want this, but you continued to pursue this man, even though you knew that he did not want to give you what you wanted. You have free will to exercise on a daily basis. You are lucky to exercise your free will. You have nothing that appears to be inhibiting you from using it, that you continue to choose a man who does not want you. You are now pregnant with another man and expect him to take care of it because of what reason? Nothing but pure entitlement. Hold yourself accountable. Take a look at yourself and realize that that's not a reasonable thing to ask of another human being. You have to be real with each other. You have to be real with each other.
That's cold. That's cold. All right,
and they don't even be ready. They don't even be ready for the no either. That she wasn't ready for that hell no. Like she wasn't ready for that hell no. Like women, a lot of women, they have it all processed out in their mind of how they want it to go, but they don't think like, well, what if he don't agree with my plan? Like, what if it
Mm-hmm.
don't happen the way I want it to work? Like, just
Right.
because you have a plan in your mind, that doesn't mean that this man is gonna do everything you want. He can say hell no, and then what are you gonna be? You're gonna be a single mom anyway, out on the streets, and then you're gonna be wishing that you had a man, and then you're gonna,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just it's just
Okay.
it's a cycle of domino effects. It just needs to make sense. It
And
doesn't,
it's
yeah.
not worth it too. I don't think, as a woman, I don't think it's worth it. Like, we can't foresee the future, so but it's not worth it to see something so clearly, to have all the signs, like, that this dude doesn't want to take care of you, and you're still like, why really ask yourself, why do I continue to choose this person?
Right,
What is my
right,
self-esteem? Is my self-esteem
right.
rooted in something, or is it rooted in someone else's ability to love me or not? If you can only love yourself when someone else loves you, you have a self-esteem problem. And
Right.
when I say that, I don't say it as, oh, you have problems. No, it's maybe really actually, sis, take a look at your self-esteem and really see where in you may have some hurt or some trauma or something that you need to heal from, so that you can show up better as a woman. Because you don't need to, that's self-sabotage. There's a form of self-sabotage to continuously allow yourself to be in relationships like that and interact with people. It's just not necessary. These are real people's lives and real human experiences. And I feel like we get so jaded from the internet that we kind of forget, like, this is real life and you have free will. Stop.
Yeah, I totally agree. I agree. Y'all said some really, really, um, really good points, and I definitely agree with a lot of what y'all said. I really don't have any pushback. I definitely think if these women, single women in particular, single mothers in particular, if they really want a shot at possibly finding a good man with integrity, with principles, leadership, all that, you got to you have to be whole. You actually have to be whole before you think someone whole is going to even look your way. Um, I don't know how true the expression is. Are what you attract. I don't know how true that is, but I do understand that do definitely has a. It seems to bear out more often than not. But anyways, guys, I could go on all night with
Can I
y'all,
just
but
add one thing real quick, though, that's important? I feel like
yeah, go ahead.
I just want to say, as a woman, look, I'm not perfect, so you don't need to be perfect, right? But I think having self-awareness is key. So
Self
being
awareness.
whole is really important, but being whole does not mean you are perfect. Being whole, I think, has a lot to do with your level of self-awareness and your ability to foster change within yourself if it's for the benefit of you and the people around you. I just want to say that, because I don't want women to think I'm here bashing you for where you are. If you have the ability to take a stop and look at yourself and kind of redirect so that you can become a better woman, kudos.
Well, I don't care about these people's feelings, so I'm just gonna say I do come in to cut the crap.
Oh snap!
Um, so this is where
Let's get ready to
Rumble. Hey, right.
Men are not the
But this
enemy.
is where no, seriously, this is
I
where
hear
you
you,
get
though.
the
I hear you.
no. Like, all respect to you though. It's just because I'm glad that they have a balance tonight. Because I'd be like going all in. But what also I wanted to close out was just remember that even as a single mom myself, we all just have to take accountability. We have to take accountability for the situations that we put ourselves into. We, yeah, we got kids now. We got kids. We got to raise these kids. It's really nobody. It's no responsibility to somebody to raise our kids for us. We're moms, whether we like it or not. The kids are already here. So at the end of the day, if you chose a not so good man to have a child with, that's the decision that you made. You have to come to that realization. The sooner you come with the realization that you got yourself into what you're in right now, that's step number one of growth. You acknowledge everything that you did, you take ownership of your story, and then you stand up and you continue to write the story for the future. So I just wanted
Yeah.
to go ahead and say that.
Yeah,
Period.
I
Well,
agree.
I
I
will
agree
say
with you,
that I will
girl.
say that you both are a lot more optimistic than I am. I just think this level of delusion has completely and not to mention feminism that a lot of women have adopted. These feminists, they may not identify as feminists, but they definitely align with a lot of their ideologies and these leftist leanings and whatever. And I think that's been the number one crux or the crisis that we face right now, that's attacking what we could see as a brighter future potentially. But I'll let you, Madame Divine and Jane, have the closing words, and then we'll shut it down for the night.
Okay, well, I mean, it was really nice to meet you, Jane. Like, you're really cool. I really appreciate you having me on the panel tonight, guys. And thank you
Absolutely.
for inviting me to be on the panel. The Real Unwoke. It's a real good conversation. But yeah, I definitely think that let's take more accountability. If you've watched this episode, take accountability, hold people accountable so that we can do better as a people. Because really, all of this stuff is a reflection of us as people of color. So what are we representing?
Absolutely. I just close with men are not the enemy. That's my close.
All right, y'all heard it first. Look, guys, like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Y'all already know. Definitely go follow these ladies on their platforms. I think Madam Divine says she's not really socially active like that, but nonetheless, that's her handle. Men are not the enemy. Miss Jane is on Instagram. She's on TikTok. She's doing her YouTube thing. She says she's trying to get the YouTube thing going. So make sure, if you have not subscribed to her channel, if you got love for me, show love for her. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thank both of y'all for coming on. And Miss Jane, I really you already know. I appreciate you. So hey, hang out in the background, y'all, real quick. I'm gonna close it out. But hey, thank you guys. Y'all have just been unwoke. Y'all have a great night. Peace.